Tonight, after the WWE's WWE Fastlane pay-per-view, they debuted a new show, the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness. And in order to put this over, they had Edge and Christian on the WWE Fastlane pay-per-view doing a rated R peep show with the New Day, and the New Day came out there, and then basically the League of Nations came down, and it turned into a whole big fiasco. And just to sum it all up, at the end of the segment, it's just Christian saying, "Watch my show, watch my show, watch my show." The show debuted tonight, and I'll tell you this honestly, I I don't know why it's better to debut a show after Raw instead of after a pay-per-view. I think maybe because a Raw, it has its ups, it has its downs. A pay-per-view is supposed to be, solid all the way through, especially with the implications at the end of Fastlane that, basically a lot of these matches are setting up what these guys are going to be doing at WrestleMania. I thought that this was a bad night to debut this show because of the fact that I think people wanted to settle after the show. But once I got all my reviews done, and my videos for my Monday Night Raw preview and things like that, I turned it on because it's still kind of early before I have to go to bed, and I wanted to see what this show was all about. The Edge and Christian show sucks. I didn't have the highest expectations for this show because Edge and Christian are funny, but I didn't think they'd be able to carry a whole 30-minute show, and I didn't think that WWE Network was going to be putting a whole ton of production and writing into the show. And, Edge and Christian might be able to crack a joke here or there along the way. I just didn't think that they'd be able to carry a whole 30-minute show. But the show opened up with like a sort of like a Saturday Night Live opening skit where Edge and Christian were walking down the hall complaining about eating a burrito and needing somewhere to take a dump. And they decided that they were going to go into Vince McMahon's office to take this dump, to sort of show one to the boss. And once they got in there, they ended up picking up a remote control, which was like the remote of the galaxy or something like that they put over, and they pushed a button and his fake AC/DC started playing, and they pushed another button and this guy showed up on a unicycle, and there was a baby bouncing, well, it was like a baby midget bouncing up and down on a yoga ball. I didn't laugh. It wasn't funny. Vince walked in. He was about to fire him. They froze him. They took a selfie with him, and then they walked out. It didn't start off that well. Next thing you knew, that Edge and Christian were doing the sort of thing where they dressed up like they were Shakespeare. And although the John Cena puppet was in it, it sounded like John Cena even voiced the puppet. It didn't make me laugh. You bring back the Triple H puppet, I'll mark out. And that might be all I'm really watching this show for again, to see this. They had a guy named Jamie the Intern interview John Cena, and I don't think they told John Cena that this was going to be a joke, because by the end of this segment, it was so bad that you could even tell by Cena's face that he was embarrassed to be there, and that he didn't want anything to do with this. Then we had Corey Graves going to a gym, asking people what they thought about the upcoming Edge and Christian show, and nobody knew who they were, which didn't make it funny. I just felt sorry for him. And then they took a look over the Beach Blast mini-movie from, I believe, 1992, maybe 1993. Davey Boy and Sting, when they were about to get blown up on the boat by Sid and Vader. And they just sort of voiced it over, and that really wasn't that funny, to be honest with you. Then they played the name game where they put, wrestlers up on the screen, and the first person to guess the wrestler's name got a point. Edge ended up dominating that one, winning 7-3, but I was sort of surprised how I was getting the names of the wrestlers faster than they were, and I don't know. Last but not least, at the end of the show, it's almost like a Tosh.0 redemption. They did a redemption for the Shockmaster from WCW, another thing that involves Sting, Davey Boy, and Sid. But basically the Shockmaster ran through the wall and fell down, and it was on live TV, and the helmet fell off, and everybody knew that Fred Ottman was Tugboat, and nobody believed in the Shockmaster gimmick anymore. So basically, Edge and Christian tried to hype up Shockmaster. They tried to teach him how to run through the wall. And at the end, basically they just ended up, having Shockmaster run through a paper banner that it said the Edge and Christian show. This show's not good. This show's not funny. Don't go out of your way to watch this show. Definitely, as far as all of the shows that WWE Network has, this is at the very bottom of them. I'll be very surprised if this does more than 6 episodes before it's just never shot again.